Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be doing some pointing, and whilst I walk past this point here, I just want to bring it to your attention. The owls that were nesting in the left hand tiny little window that you can see there, they've flown the nest. Yep, they've all fledged and they're now in the big wide world, all on their own. Good luck, little owlets. We did hear them this morning, so they are close about. So this is the area I managed to prepare last time before we had some issues with cars. We've dug back, raked out most of the joints. It's a little bit of here and there to scrape out, but nothing too much. Bring the mix round, wet this area down and get pointing. Now normally when you do your raking out for your pointing, if the gap, the width of the joint, if it was say 15 to 20 mil wide, you'd go double, say, 30, maximum 40. Hardly any gap, wider gaps. So I've got to use my experience and judgment to work out how much I rake out. So if we've got a big wide gap, then we rake it out a little bit deeper, and if need be, we'll put a packing piece of stone in there. You don't want the joint to be too big as such with just the mortar. We'll have to make up and level off here and there. It's quite a random wall really. It does look nice once it's pointed, but to get to that stage, it's all about the preparation really. This area dampened down. Just when I think I'm ready, I see another spot and I think, no, that's got to be raked out. It's difficult because the clay kind of looks like stone in places. Although it's really, really hard with this tool here, which is just a garden weeding tool that I find really gets into some of these tight joints. You can buy machines that do raking out, but it really wouldn't work on this joint because it's not a uniform joint. If it was in brickwork, then that'd be ideal. You can buy little attachments that make light work of it, but this is a little bit different. Very rustic. Sometimes these houses, cottages, whatever you want to call them, were built by the actual farm, labourers and workers. It wasn't always, highly skilled craftsmen doing them. And we spoke to neighbours, and they've told us that their great grandparents built that cottage. Then they moved on from there, and their children built that one. So there was a lot of self-building going on at the time. Probably find a lot of that in the countryside. One fell down later on. They'd reuse all the stones, and I think someone's actually done that with this property, because as I've gone round, I found some really old, unusual stones that are dating back hundreds and hundreds of years. They look like some of them are like religious stones with carvings out, like lines, which I've seen in quite a few old churches. So they just used what they had at hand. Okay, quick hose down, brush off, and we're ready to go. It's important to dampen down any existing line near where you're going to be working. This will dry in no time. You can't point when it's saturated like this, it has to dry out a bit. Not too worried about the coloration of the line. It's quite bright at the moment. It will dull down. When it comes to doing the front of the property, I may add a colourant to it to tone it down a bit, but I'm not as bothered. to the rear of the cottage, to be honest with you. Just dampen down the surrounding area. This dries remarkably quick, sheds the water quite fast, and the clay. So it's probably a metre thick, this wall, clay infill, so it soaks this up in no time. So we've got our mix done. We'll let that stand for 20 minutes and give it another spin over, see if it needs adjusting, then we're ready to go. So all the excess water has run off and it's just nice and damp, perfect for pointing. Consistency of, say, clotted cream. Depends on your weather conditions and environment. Okay, let's get this show on the road. If you're doing this yourself, you'll soon find the easiest method. Okay, a little bit tricky here. Once we get started, we'll be fine. If you get your consistency right, it'll make it a lot easier. I find it doesn't pay straight away to start moving it about too much, because it will start working its way forward. Give it a chance and go back over it, and if you need to build a little bit up, you can do it again before it starts setting. Well, that weather's getting a bit rough. We did forecast high winds, but keep an eye on the weather. I don't normally let it stop me doing something though. And don't overwork it. Let it start taking, firming up, and then you can go back over and work it. You can remove anything on the face, but sort of get it to that level, and I'll show you how we go back over it. So kind of get it to the size of the joint you want to try it into. Start to just get it in position. Make sure it forms into the horizontal course. I find it quite enjoyable, to be honest with you. You switch off, get in the zone. Sometimes you have a good run where all the joints are nice and uniform-ish. You can just get it in there, move along, and then sometimes you spend a lot of time in just one area. It's just how it goes. Okay, so we'll just make sure it's worked well into the joint. At this stage, if we need any more, on a fly in. And another thing when you're doing this, don't, if you can help it, point downwards too much because you'll bring it out. You can sort of work up. When you're fairly happy with where it is, I like to use this to dampen it down. What this does, it closes those tiny hairline, sometimes cracks you get around the stone. Puts a slight texture on the joint as well, which does help it dry out a lot quicker. Just feather it off into the joint, the old joint that you've met up to. Another thing I like to do is knock up enough for the job at hand, but not mix it all up at the same time. I've mixed it up dry. It's in a bigger bucket back in the cottage. Then when I'm ready to come around and work on, say, a square metre, I'll mix a smaller bucket up with the water, so still leaving the dry mixture, and if need be, if I don't get around to using it, I can cover it up and use it again tomorrow. And you get like a continuity of colour as well with your mixing. Always gauge it out. Now if I was to finish here, what I'd do is kind of strike it right in and taper it off to nothing. It'd be a lot easier to join in then. dry back if I've got the mix right, the same as that there. And then once that's started to sort of go leathery to the touch, you can get a wider soft brush and just clean off the face. A lot of the time when you find a lot of old buildings with soft red brick, the cement sometimes cracks away from it and it takes half the brick with it because it's a lot stronger. So you have to do your research and get your ratios just right. Okay, if we look here, we can just see a slight sort of hairline crack under the stone. Just under there, see it there? So what I like to do is, because I've sort of started to run out in this area, just brush it in there and it makes that disappear. So check over, see if there's any other areas like that. A little bit here, you know, just brush it over. It closes it all up. Now these joints, if there's any cracks in them using this lime, they will reseal, believe it or not. You know, any tiny little cracks in it, it does reform. Now I am keeping an eye on the weather. I don't think I'll mix up another gauge yet. I've still got some more prep to do on this wall here. Got some ivy roots still, but it's just too windy to use the gas burner on there, so I want to just start digging back, getting as much as I can out of the wall. So there's only the fine, tiny fibrous roots soon get burnt off. It's amazing how this clay weathers and stands up to all sorts of conditions. You know, it really is open to the elements, but it does go hard. I've had to wet it and scrape it. It's very labour intensive. You can see here there's hardly any joint. There's a big gap here, there's a little stone there, so don't be tempted to get that out and think you're making things easy. Soon start losing the bigger stones. Obviously don't break out here because you'll get all muck all over here, although it will brush off and clean off. And this ivy, even though it's been killed off over 10 years, still loads of it in the wall. So I like to remove as much as I can and then get the gas burner on it when the wind's died down. Yeah, I'm quite mindful not to make these too long and monotonous. It's not for everyone, is it? Some people don't mind. So I've just, you know, keep that balance with viewer satisfaction. And please let me know, thumbs up if you enjoyed the videos. Try and watch to the end because it really does help. Well, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye for now.